There are currently two kings in the compact car segment, the Honda Civic and the Toyota Corolla. Last year, the all-new 2012 Civic won the sales crown, and this year, the slightly revised 2013 model is poised to do it again.
That's true. Last year, the Corolla did come in second place, but that's really remarkable when you think about the fact that it was starting to look older than Betty White. So now this year, we've got a new version of the Corolla, and it's ready to take it to Honda.
The Civic received a dramatic redesign in 2006, and since that time hasn't changed all that much. In fact, the 2012 looks so similar to the old model that people kind of freaked out, and Honda was forced to redesign the model in only 1 year since it was launched. With the addition of some plastic chrome here and there, a new set of taillights, and a few muscular curves thrown in, Honda really has made the Civic look way more modern than it did last year. It's almost attractive now. It may not be as aggressive as the Corolla, but this car should still look familiar to current Civic buyers, whereas the new Corolla is going to take some getting used to.
Roughly a year ago, Toyota unveiled its Furia concept at the LA Auto Show to preview this, the new Corolla. And at the time, if you asked me what I thought, I probably would have told you it looked like an angry jelly bean. It had carbon fiber built into the wheels and all sorts of aggressive accents. Surprisingly enough, that made it through to the series production model. Now, certain things couldn't make it, of course, but the majority is still here. It's more round, more aggressive, and more eye-catching, and our model comes with the optional two-tone 17-inch alloy wheels that remind me an awful lot, especially from a distance, of the Scion FRS. So, does this car have the guts to back up its bold bravado? Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Powering all Civics minus the SI model is a 1.8-liter four-cylinder that makes 140 horsepower and 128 pound-feet of torque. A 5-speed manual transmission is available in the base LX Civic, while all other models, including our EXL shown here, has a 5-speed automatic. Officially rated at 28 miles per gallon city and 39 miles per gallon highway, our Civic is returning an average of 31.1 miles per gallon in real-world testing. The Civic begins at a price of $18,165, while our EXL with navigation came in at $24,555 after destination charges. Our car also has a set of dealer-installed 17-inch wheels that will just bump the price up a little bit more.
Now, the Corolla also uses a 1.8-liter four-cylinder engine that makes the same amount of torque. It makes 132 horsepower, and also with an available Eco version, you actually get a little bit more, 140 horsepower and efficiency improvements, although that's not the model that we have today. Transmission options include a 6-speed manual or a CVT. Yes, the old 4-speed automatic is technically available, but it's only on the absolute base model, and you're not likely to see it outside of a rental fleet. Official ratings put the Corolla at 29 miles per gallon in the city, although our tests are showing an average of 34.5 miles per gallon. Pricing starts at $17,610 including delivery, and our loaded S Premium model costs just about $22,000.
Inside, Honda made a lot more changes for the 2013 Civic. There's a new deeper grain on top of the dashboard, and there's soft touch materials on the door tops as well as above the glove box. But the big change is in the center console. It has been completely redesigned. There are new climate controls, and on higher trim models there is Honda's dual screens. Now, I love this feature because it allows me to see my audio information and my navigation information at the same time. With the various menu screens and the digital dashboard, the Civic feels more upscale and premium than the Corolla, and most of the systems are easy to use, but not quite as dead simple as found in the Toyota. The steering wheel has a rather small diameter and makes the Civic feel sportier than it is. The buttons are well laid out and are both easy to understand and operate. The Civic is only slightly shorter than the Corolla, but gives up over 5 inches in rear legroom. The seats themselves are more comfortable, but you do feel more confined than the limo-like Toyota. At least there is a center armrest in this vehicle, something grossly missing from the Corolla.
Now, like I said before, this is the top trim version of the Corolla, so it's understandable if you have high expectations for the cabin. And thankfully, those high expectations are very well met. The seats are trimmed in Toyota's soft text material, and they're very well bolstered and plenty comfortable. Not only that, but next to the Civic, this cabin looks downright stylish. You know, Toyota really did their homework on this car. And that's even before I start talking about rear seat space. There's 41.4 inches of knee room in the second row, and to give you some perspective, that's more than 5 inches better than the Civic, and it actually puts this car into Camry territory. Remember, those cars are often used as taxi cabs because they're spacious. That's nuts. Trunk space is also bigger, although only by half a cubic foot. So what is that? You know, a 6-pack of beer, roughly? Not a big deal. The one complaint I do have is that there are a lot of right angles in this cabin, and while that might help it look stylish, for me, I would appreciate more of a driver-focused cockpit because I have a hard time reaching the tuning knob over on the radio. Mike says that this cabin fits him quite well, and he is a few inches taller than me, but at 5'9", I'm no hobbit, hairy as my toes might be.
Neither of these cars are sporty or particularly fast. They're set up to be easy-to-drive commuters with a focus on fuel economy. The Civic does feel more agile than the Corolla, but gives up a little bit of predictability to the Toyota. It feels like that car will just go straight for miles on the highway, whereas the Civic requires a little bit more attention. Thanks to the low dashboard and low belt lines, sightlines in the Civic are terrific, but some taller drivers like myself may find they sit a little too high in the seat and feel like they're looking down on the Civic at all times. With the 4-speed automatic now being gone from all but rental fleet Corollas, Honda's 5-speed manual and 5-speed automatic are beginning to feel a little dated. Although both units deliver terrific fuel economy, the 5-speed automatic in particular isn't the most sophisticated and is a little slow to change gears, and the shifts aren't exactly smooth.
So I know what you're probably thinking, and you're absolutely right. The Corolla is as bland to drive as a London fog is to drink. In case you don't know, that's a latte made with tea. Gross, I know. The gas pedal isn't terribly responsive. The CVT does a good job for a CVT, but it's not supposed to be a sporty car. It's supposed to be a vehicle that gets you from point A to point B without any problems, without any worries, and that it does very, very well. Even compared to the Civic, this car is easy to get used to. It's easy to get along with. There's knobs and buttons, everything's straightforward. Not only that, but it's spacious, and it's wonderfully efficient. On a side note, it looks like there's officially no reason left to buy a Nissan Sentra. It's also worth noting that for all of its mediocrity, the Corolla is surprisingly quiet, even with the CVT, which is notorious for creating engine roar.
It's not hard to see why these two vehicles are the top-selling compacts in America. They're both offered in easy-to-live with practical packages.
But the Corolla offers better real-world fuel economy, more rear seat space, and it's cheaper. For all those reasons, it's a better choice than the Civic as a daily driver.
For more on this car comparison and others like it, visit autoguide.com.